I'm Beverly Brown, and I'm an educator, and I'm participating in the Mother Daughter Project.
I'm Wakita Barksdale. I'm a mental health therapist, and I'm participating in the Mother Daughter Project.
My name is Ruth Carpenter, and I'm a business owner, and I'm participating in the Mother Daughter Project.
My name is Angie Spencer, and I'm a customer service rep. I am participating in the Mother Daughters Project.
Hi, I'm Teresa Ash. I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm participating in the Mother-Daughter Project.
Hi, I am Meek McCory. I'm a business owner, and I am participating in the Mother-Daughter Project.
Hi, my name is Wanda Miller. I'm a claims administrator, and I'm participating in the Mother-Daughter Project.
Hello, I'm Deborah Mitchell. I'm a banking regulator, and I'm participating in the Mother-Daughter Project.
I'm Tina Jackson. I'm a business consultant, and I'm participating in the Mother Daughter Project.
And I'm Dawn Johnson, and I'm a business owner, and I'm participating and facilitating the Mother Daughter Project. So thank you, ladies, for coming to share. I know this isn't necessarily easy to, kind of put some family information out there for others to view and learn from. So I appreciate you being willing to participate for the benefit of our community and our world as it's ever changing. So part of the journey is that, really analyzing how women are showing up in the world today. And the thought process is that how our women are showing up in the world today is somewhat based on their relationships with their mothers. So it's because of or in spite of typically what that relationship has meant to them. So we're going to start off with asking you all, what is it that you appreciate and love most about your daughter? And when you share that, you can share your daughter's name at that time.
I'll start.
Okay.
My daughter is Cameron, and what I appreciate about Cameron is that at 25 years old, she is independent. She's fiercely self-assured. She's much different than I was as a 25-year-old, and I don't know how much of that I'm responsible for, but I appreciate that in her, and I'm proud of her for that.
What I love most about Tori, she's honest. Whether it's brutal or genuine, she's honest. She is my joy. I think every mom needs a daughter. She's a replica of me. I just love everything about her.
Well, I have 3 daughters. So I would say my first daughter, Alyssa, we're not that far off in age, 17 years apart. So we grew up together in a way, and my girls are like my best friends. My other daughter, Mia, is my mother daughter. We're so close, and for some odd reason, they love hanging out with me. My 9-year-old, not so much. She's got a different personality, but I just love my girls, and they're just like Nick says, my joy.
Well, as for me, my daughter is Taylor, and she's just a ambitious type person and has always been that way from a little girl up. And as a mom, I'm so very thankful for the things that she's doing, and I know that I have inspired her along the way as well, but I'm very thankful for the things that she's doing.
And my daughter that invited me to be in the project is Naomi. She's 29, and what I love about her, she's very outspoken and independent and very ambitious. She comes across as being fearless and wanting to do things and try different things. I'm very proud of her.
My daughter Patience is strong-willed. When she sets her mind to something, she's most likely going to get it. And I like that. I like that she doesn't settle. And I don't think I had that at her age. I think I came from a very, I don't want to say it's a poverty mindset, but you kind of took what you could get. And I love that she's willing to pass something by to wait for what she wants.
My daughter, Deandra, invited me to participate. What I love about Deandra is she's compassionate. She's humble, and she's also a warrior. I have two daughters. The other one is younger. She's also a warrior. She is very outspoken. And they are both a mixture of my personality. I'm quiet most of the time, but when it comes to what I have to do, I put on my battle armor and I go for it.
My daughter is Amber. She's 24, and I had her when I was 17 too. What I love about her is her energy. She has so much energy, and she's extremely gifted.
Mhm.
And I love how she just has this creative idea, and whenever she's around the family, we call her the little plug because she's gonna have the idea. She's quick on her feet, and she's also fearless. She's not afraid to try new things.
And my daughter, she's Deanna, she's 24, and she's very intelligent, strong-willed. And she would call me from college and she'd say, Mom, I'm gonna be a RA. I said, okay. She said, Mom, I'm gonna be an SI instructor. I said, okay. She said, Mom, I'm gonna be doing this and doing that. And she pretty much put herself through college. She's extremely smart, very independent, and now she's an ICU nurse. And I'm so proud of her. She's always been that go-getter type person, and I didn't really have to like hang tag on her and tell her what to do. She just kind of just does it on her own. She's very independent.
And my daughter's Taryn, and she's 18 years old. And I love everything about her. She's very different from me. She's a great mixture of her dad and I. It's interesting, like in front of other people, I don't see her talk much. But when she's in, like around her family in a comfortable setting, she's very opinionated, strong-willed. The thing I think I admire most about her is she knows who she is. Like, she'll listen to my opinions and she's like, yeah, okay. But I already know she's gonna live her life her way. I talk a lot. My mom talked a lot, and I know she's kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and listen because I have to. But she is so much her own person, and then she's so talented. I don't think that she realizes how talented she is. I watch her do things, and I'm just amazed sometimes at just how quickly she can pick up things and just run with it. So I'm sitting back kind of watching her like a movie and, wondering who she's going to be in the world. So it's going to be exciting watching her evolve into a woman. So with that said, it sounds like we all have wonderful, phenomenal daughters that are showing up in their own way in the world. So with that, how you see your daughter showing up in the world right now, is there anything that you feel like you would have done differently?
I guess I'll start. So again, I definitely I probably would have done majority of the same things because I don't think God did that bad. I think I probably, again, would have looked at them a little bit in their own lens, just trying to let them live their own life versus looking at it through my lens. So that's what I would do.
I know for me, I would, one thing that Amber shared with me that I thought it was really good for me to hear. She said that when it comes to her being ambitious and trying new things, like I'm supportive, I push her, but when it comes to the emotional support, that she felt like I could do a better job. And it really made me think about how I was showing up because I didn't have that type of push and support from my mom. So I thought like, okay, well I'll give my daughter that. I think all of us said we were trying to give our daughters like what we didn't get. But it turns out she needed the soft spot, and that's something that I've had to develop with her. So I would definitely do that different.
I think I can echo that. I was working so much, when Cameron was born, I was already 32. I was the primary breadwinner. I was traveling 3 out of 4 weeks. So we didn't have that as much of an emotional or girlfriend connection. I'm not of that generation. You have to be your daughter's friend, but I wish I had more of that as, she was growing up. I think now that's starting to develop, but I get a little envy when I see my girlfriends that are really close to their daughters and they have this girlfriend relationship. And Cameron and I have some of that, I think, but I wish it was more.
Patience is young, so she's 16. So I'm sure I'll have some things in about 10 years. But just, I think right now, one of the things that I remember one day, we were going to her school. It was at the beginning of the school year. And I was telling her that I was going to go with DJ. I was like, you go ahead and get your stuff from your teachers and I'm going to go with him. And she kind of looked at me and I said, what, do you need me to go with you? And she was like, I mean, why don't you ever tell my teachers what I struggle with? And I was like, I didn't know you wanted me to, and I realized that because I think my mom did the same thing in terms of, I was very independent. I was just going to go and get it done. I would, come home and say, I need you to sign here, 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 and here, and then put the date right here and your initials right here. Like that was the kid I was. And she's never really been like, I need you to be here or I need you to do that. And so I started doing that at that moment. I would go in and talk to her teachers and, say, she is a little anxious and at times, and she may not, if you just call on her, she may shut down, just kind of doing the same thing that I do with him. And I think she appreciated that. Now, I do know that she fusses about me saying things like when she says she's stressed, and I'd be like, get it together, right? But a lot of times, and I hope she realizes in the future, a lot of times that is because she has such a kind heart, and like she really gives too much of herself. And so I'm telling her, this isn't your life. Like you're taking in everybody else's stuff and you don't need to do that. Like, I'm not saying that you don't have things that make you stressed, but I'm saying you have to set boundaries. And so I think as she gets older, she'll start understanding what I'm trying to communicate to her. But I don't really know another way to say it. But sometimes get off the phone and mind your business. So
my situation with my daughters and my specific daughter that invited me for this project, my daughters were raised differently from most folks because I became disabled when they were 4 and 5. So I raised them from a wheelchair and a scooter, and learning to be independent when I was disabled was hard. I was married to a soldier at the time, so as military spouses, we are single parents, but we are married because we do a lot of things on our own because our spouses have responsibilities, and I wouldn't change that for the world. But I think I put more into my children than I should at some point because I was always there, no matter what. Even if everybody else's mom was not there, I was there, wheelchair and all. I was the one running down the hallway in my scooter, following them around, going from parent-teacher meetings, going to the supermarket to get stuff for cheerleading, carrying cheerleaders because I had an expedition at the time. So I drove cheerleaders to games, picked them up from games. I kind of think I did a lot more than I should, but I think my children learn that you can do anything no matter what your situation is because mom was there all the time. And so they became warriors, I think, no matter what. My mom is going to be there even with the condition that she's in. If she can do it, I can do it. So I think that's where they got their warrior mentality from. Maybe it was not fair to them to become a warrior at such an early age, but they are now. I know that I can trust them with their choices. I may not like it, but I can trust them with their choices because they're going to find a way.
Yeah. I think with me, with Deanna, when I grew up with a mother and father in the home, so I didn't know how it felt when I got a divorce from my husband. how she felt. I felt like I should have maybe talked to her more about it, which I did. But I felt like I should have done a little bit better job of consulting her with the divorce and things like that. Maybe give a little more hugs and kisses and things like that also.
Well, I can empathize with you on that because I didn't want to involve them in the entire composition of the divorce because we got divorced when they were older.
Yeah.
You know, it was time.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to show them what to stay in if they're not happy.
Exactly.
But I didn't want to include them into all the mess that comes with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I want them to live their life, even though a part of their life is the breaking up of their dad and their father. I mean, their father and their mother. So that was also something that I regretted because I came from a broken home and I did not want that for my daughters. But it was the best thing to do.
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't have done anything different. I think I parented from the place where I was at that time. I gave my all. I did my best. I loved my kids. I supported them. I think we're too hard on ourselves. You can't rewrite history.
Yeah.
You know, you have a starting point and we're all progressing. So will we do the same things back then that we would do today? No, because we're better now.
Right.
We've learned more.
Yeah.
You know, we've got more experience, but we were learning on the job. I know a lot of women in this room, they've given their all. They run businesses, they're at PTA, they're running banks, they're getting degrees and blah, blah, blah. We're too hard on ourselves. You know, dads do a quarter of what we do, and it's like they want a parade. They want a parade. Okay, we're doing everything. You know, we're doing our best, and I'm not going to go back and regret anything. I've learned from it, and I encourage my kids. If you needed something, you let me know because I'm not a mind reader. I'm giving you everything I got at this moment, and that's it.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I just wonder, the kids don't know that. They don't know sometimes, you know, especially as teenagers.
Yeah.
Mom is making the decision she's making because of X, you know, and I'm just thinking, I've got to work, you know,
Right.
I've got to work.
Right.
But, you know, does that mean I'm going to miss some things? Yeah, that means I'm going to miss some things.
Of course.
Does that mean we are not maybe going to have the relationship that I had hoped we would have? And so now that, you know, they're adults and, you know, I'm thinking about retiring, I don't get that back. I don't get that opportunity back. But like you said, I don't really, you know, I can't do anything. I couldn't do anything different, but I just accept the impact that it had on our relationship. And I don't want anyone thinking our relationship is bad or anything, but it's not that intimacy that some mothers and daughters have.
Well, there's time for that.
Yeah.
You're growing. Everybody's growing at that age.
And I don't think we were answering the question from a place of regret. I think it was more hindsight.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
because once, like from my situation, once patients showed that she needed that, I jumped right on it.
Right.
You know, so it's not a thing. But I also recognized in myself that was one of those things that even though I was trying to do things like you said, giving what I needed, I still slipped into that same habit because there's a fine line between when your child is the child that doesn't need that much and the child that does, right? But then that child is saying, yeah, I do need that. So I think the one thing I always talk about is with relationships is that they're always developing. And so the relationship that I have with my 16-year-old will not be the relationship that I have with my 26-year-old. She's going to be a different child in 10 years, and I'm going to have a different relationship with her because we're going to go from, you know, mother-child probably to a woman-to-woman, okay? Yeah, right? And then it's going to be mother-daughter.
Yeah.
And I think that's okay because as she builds her autonomy and she starts, it's not necessarily about trusting me, it's about trusting herself. So she has to go through a period of time where she learns to trust herself. And that's when I say those things. I take those opportunities and say to her, you know, I wish I had done this differently or had the opportunity. I had to work or I had to do this or that. and explain it, because that's how you develop relationships. So in 10 years, y'all will probably have the best relationship ever because you'll be able to have those conversations about what you wish you could have had. But a lot of us, you don't have the luxury of what it could have been.
That's right.
Because it wasn't set up like that.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. And I just think we have to be excited about what's to come.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think these intricacies about the relationship creates an opportunity for the girls, the daughters to have their own, learn what their boundaries are, learn how to communicate what they need. Because even with my daughter telling me about, how she felt like I could have given her more emotionally, I was really happy that she could articulate that.
Yeah.
And instead of going inside and thinking like I did something wrong, I was like, wow, like she even had the language to say that. So I'm not as bad as as I thought I was, right? Because she has her boundaries. She knows how to ask for what she wants, and I didn't know how to do that. And maybe, I don't know. If I had a different relationship with my mom, maybe I wouldn't have been able to create an environment where my daughter, she had just something that she had to grow into. So I appreciate her being able to articulate herself, even though, it's not, warm, fluffy, and pretty.
Yeah.
I just think it's impossible to anticipate every one of your child's or everyone in all the relationships in your life. You can't anticipate every need. That's just not a possibility. Like I need you to tell me what you need. My mom always say, ask for what you want and what you need. That was our thing. And she was very strict, and I'm sure she feels like she made a lot of mistakes. She was a widow at 34 with 4 kids, and she was very stern, and she worked all the time, as she had to. And she had a lot of regret, and I'm just like, Mom, you were the best mom. Everybody loved you. All my friends loved you. You were strict, but you gave me everything you had when you had it. It was like, I can't ask for more. I can't ask you to have be a different person. Like, it is what it is,
Oh no, I'll just tell Teresa that's good. I wish the kids would just come to you and like, okay, we want to be like Miss Teresa. And I think, as I mentioned before, there was no a book on the shelf to say, hey, this is how parenting 101 is supposed to be. So to your point, we're gonna be okay.
You're gonna be okay. You got time for all this. My daughter's turning 30 this year, and she wants to go on vacation with me and her other sister. Like, you got time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got time to build on the relationship. So
You're piggybacking off of what you said about time. We have to realize that our daughters are going through their own time, and their own phases. About 2 years ago, we were having a family gathering, and there was a discussion, then it got a little heated. And I said, what you really have to realize that I'm not just mommy. I am Beverly. And you don't know Beverly. You only know mommy. So what we need to do is to know who each other is as a woman. So my daughters now are looking at me differently because I'm not just mommy. I am Beverly. And so in order to know me, they have to know who Beverly is. They've not ever really looked at me as Beverly. I'm mommy, I do this, I do that. But what about Beverly? Do you know Beverly?
They think like we're super women, like we don't have any struggles, like we're not blue ever. We get sad, we have rough days, we make mistakes, and it's just like, oh, Mom, you really messed up. You dropped the ball. You dropped the ball. Like, you're the worst parent. Like, they never look at you as human.
My daughter said something to me one day. She was like, you never talk about anything. It's like you just keep going and going and going. And, that's a part of my upbringing too. Like, not having the support, I felt like I needed to get it for myself. So I started sharing with her more like, I'm feeling really depressed right now, so I'm gonna take some time, And when she brought it up, I was just like I just didn't know. But she said it, like, you just seem like you just move through stuff like it doesn't matter. I'm thinking to myself,
girl.
You don't know.
And I'm glad you brought that up because my son actually said this to his wife, which I told him don't do ever. They were in Hawaii for 3 years in the military, and she was away from her family. They got married really young. And so he was like, Mom, she doesn't want to work. I'm like, it's okay. She's in school. He said, well, I told her my mom goes to school. My mom got 2 businesses. My mom. I said, son, I'm rare. You're not going to find, don't you ever compare your mom to your wife.
Yeah.
Or vice versa, because your mom is different. So that made me also look at my kids like, they look at me like I do everything.
Yeah.
They never found me in a vulnerable moment. To your point, I don't think I've ever said, I said, y'all, I'm just overwhelmed. I'm depressed.
Yeah.
I think I called some of my friends and let them know, but my kids, they don't.
Yeah.
And Tori, she was on her way back to Clemson the other day, and she said something, and she, you know, we normally have good dialogue, good conversation, but she was just kind of rough with me. I'm like, why are you talking to me like that? Not that she was talking any, you know, just that compassion or, you know, wasn't disrespectful, just the compassion. She's like, Mom, you and my dad don't talk like that. So that's all I've known for 20 years, how y'all interact. That stung me.
Yeah.
That stung me hard because I know our kids look at us, and she know her dad and I love each other, but it was just like, they look at everything. And as a mom,
Oh, yes.
it just made me think about, for 20 years, this is what she's seen, so that's all she knows.
Yeah.
Before we go on to our next question, I do want to hear from Angie and Ruth.
Well, to be honest, I mean, me and my daughter and I, we've always had a wonderful relationship, even from the little girl that she started out as, years, I mean, I've always been there for her, and she's been that ambitious person from a little girl up. Believe it or not, I mean, she would have that imaginary classroom. She knew what she wanted to be in life at a very young age, and I think the things that she knew her mom was always there, and she would open up to me, tell me things like, Mama, I want to be a teacher when I grow up. And I would go to, we had what we call a playroom for the kids. And she would go in there and she'd be sitting around with her imaginary students, teaching to them, reading to them. And I knew at that moment, Taylor she had that drive to be what she set her dreams out to be. And that was to be a teacher. And she even told me at a very young age, I'm going to go as high as I possibly can, Mama. I want to get the highest level of education. And she did that. Everything she told me at a very young age, she achieved it. I love the relationship that we have. I have no regrets, none whatsoever, about anything. Yeah, we have had issues, and I'm sure we'll get to some things like that. But, overall, it's a loving relationship. And that is a mother and daughter friendship as well.
Oh, the comment I was going to make, I was going to go along with about the emotional support. I think looking back, I wish I'd take time to check in with my children and see where they actually were. Actually don't be afraid to have a deeper conversation, to check in with whatever that's going on in their lives. So I really wish I had done that. And then, like some of the other ladies mentioned, that I went through a divorce as well, like when the children were mostly in their teens, early 20s. And I think I was so into the divorce, I didn't really take time to stop and ask them, where are you all in the process? How do you feel about things? I think I tended to kind of just more me focusing on, or divorce got dragged on a little bit, me just focused on the divorce instead of saying, how are they actually doing at the time, especially being teenagers and young adults.